In this video, we will look at how we prepare for class in Math 126. You will notice in each chapter module, each section has a page called Prepare. You can see right here, 5.1 Prepare, 5.2 Prepare, 5.3 Prepare, and so on. Here's what it means to prepare for class. To support the learning that takes place each day in class, you will engage with the content on a preliminary basis before each live class meeting. And that content will be delivered to you under these pages that are called Prepare. It will most likely be a Google slideshow presentation full of YouTube videos, other video tutorials. It might just be step-by-step examples. It might be some animations where you take notes, but it's going to engage you with the material on a preliminary basis before you even come to class. By engaging with the material before you come to class, you're laying the foundation that you need in order to gain a full understanding of the material when we meet as a class. So you might be asking, why would I look at the material before coming to class if I'm going to come to class and we're going to learn about it? Good question. I have 3 answers. Okay. The first answer is because you will follow along during class much more efficiently and much more closely if you already have some kind of idea of what it is that we're going to be learning. And the reason why you will be able to follow along better, this brings me to reason number 2, is because you'll be able to ask better questions. So if you were to come to class having no idea what we're going to learn, you would most likely just passively sit there, listen to everything, take it all in, but then you really wouldn't be able to formulate any questions until the lesson was over. And then you'd be like, oh, well, now I have a question about this and this and this and this, but I didn't get a chance to ask during class because I was so busy taking notes and listening to everything. So by looking at the material and actively engaging with the material before class, you're already starting to formulate your own questions. So now you have this list of questions that you can ask during class, and you can make sure that you get all your questions answered. Make the most of the time that we spend together. The third reason is because research has proven that if you engage with some content before you even come to class to learn it, you are going to have better grades and you're going to retain the material longer than somebody who just comes to class as a blank slate and has no idea what we're going to learn about. So it's all about making those connections, something you've looked at previously and engaged with previously, and then you engage with it again during class, and then you make all those connections you need to really retain and understand the material. Okay, before you even get to the Google slideshow, you're going to be completing what we call the Be Prepared exercises from the online textbook. So every time you click on one of the Prepare for Class pages in Canvas, the format is going to look like what you see here. So first you'll complete the Be Prepared exercises. So the Be Prepared exercises, it will take you to the online textbook, and each section begins with about 2 or 3 Be Prepared exercises. And the purpose of these are to help you make a connection between your prior knowledge and the new material that we're going to learn in that section. So the Be Prepared exercises should feel familiar to you as you're completing them. You should say, oh, I've done this before. I remember how to do this. And that's good because it's building your confidence as it's also laying the foundation, because these are going to be prerequisite skills you need to learn the new material that we're learning during that day. So by doing the Be Prepared exercises before, it's kind of like a little warm up. So you wouldn't go out and run a 10K marathon without stretching and doing a little bit of light jogging as a warm up. Same thing with the Be Prepared exercises. It's getting your brain ready and feeding your brain with the prerequisite knowledge it needs to be successful and to make connections in the class when we learn the new material. Okay, so you want to have a space in your notebook where you complete the Be Prepared exercises for each section. And then when you do them, you can check them in the answer key, put a little check mark, and build your confidence as you get each question correct. Okay, after you complete the Be Prepared exercises, you're ready to actively take notes as you work through the slideshow. There is a link in Canvas for 3 templates of notes that you can use. And we'll see some samples here, and we'll see more samples during class. And then most of the slides in the slideshow are going to be animated. They're going to have the step-by-step examples for you or a short video tutorial for you to watch as you actively take notes. When you're actively taking notes, you want to write your own explanation. You don't want to just copy everything word for word. You want to make your own meaning. And that helps you make connections to something that you already know. It helps you feel confident and familiar with the material. You want to formulate your own questions and write them down in the margins of your notes so you remember to ask them in class or try to answer your own questions. And then, you've really discovered the true meaning of learning when you can ask and answer your own questions. And you're also, as you are taking your notes, you're creating a resource that's going to be useful to you in the future. By using the templates and taking organized notes and keeping them all in the same notebook, you're going to be able to look back on those whenever you have questions about a problem we're working on or whenever you're studying for an exam, because you will have remembered that you wrote it down and you'll be able to go back and find it in your own handwriting and in your own words. And here's a huge spoiler alert, and you want to listen to this. Spoiler, spoiler. You're allowed to use your Be Prepared and your Prepare for Class notes on your quizzes and on your exams. So I can't think of a better reason of why you wouldn't want to keep nice, organized notes. All right, so you want to take notes as you actively engage with the content presented in each slideshow. So here's a sample of what those notes might look like. This is the 2-column format template, which is also known as the Cornell note system. So you'll notice on the left-hand column, the student is writing down a particular question they have, and then on the right, they're giving details that can help them answer that question. Just depending on how long the slideshow is or how long the section is, you will need additional pages of work. So if you continue on to the next page, we see page 2 of the notes. Again, there's more questions on the left, more details on the right, and that process continues. You put your questions in the left-hand column, your details neatly written out on the right. This is the 4th page, and then we can see the 5th and final page. And then again, what's most important on this last page is don't forget to write your summary and your takeaways. You definitely want to give some closure to your learning session, and that kind of like gives you the main idea of the session. It helps you summarize it in your own words, which makes you understand it and learn it on a deeper level. And it also reminds you of things you want to ask during class. So your summary, it might be a little hint for you that you want to make sure that you ask a question on during class, or a key takeaway, something of that nature. Okay. Again, and here's that spoiler alert. You can use your notes on the exams and quizzes, so make your notes useful. Okay. It's kind of like putting money in the bank. You could put some money in the bank today, and that money is useful today. But when you go back and pull that money out of the bank later and it's earned some interest, now that money is even more powerful and more useful. Same thing with the notes. Later on down the road, you'll want those notes as a nice resource to look back on to help you be successful. Okay, we're going to look at some more samples of notes and also the scoring rubric for when you upload your notes. But again, when you're taking your notes, you want to make sure that you're actively engaging with the content in the slideshow. So you don't want to just passively sit there and just write everything down word for word and just kind of read it and just kind of click through it, but not really engage with the material. You want to be active. What happens if I do this? Or maybe you pause the video and you try to solve the problem on your own, and then you play it and you see if your answers match up. But you want to be actively engaged with it instead of just passively sitting back and not really taking the initiative to trying to learn it. Okay, so during active learning, you want to write your own explanation of what something means. Make a connection to something you already know. Try to answer your own questions. And if you can't, that's fine. Write them down and make sure you ask them when we get to class. Okay. All right, and then here's another sample of notes. Again, this is the 2-column format. You can see key questions and points on the left, explanations on the right, and then we definitely end with a summary. And then here's the rubric. So you want to aim to score 50 out of 50. So every time you upload your notes, you're going to be evaluated on this scoring rubric. You want to make sure you achieve all 4 of these check marks in order to score a 50 out of 50. And this scoring rubric is located in Canvas, and we will look at it during class as well. If you want more help after you're done with the Google Slideshow, or if you think, I would like to try a couple more examples, you can always go into the online textbook. So in the left-hand navigation menu in Canvas, there's a link to our online textbook. What's nice about the online textbook is it's really easy to navigate. The table of contents are on the left. You can search the book for any keyword. So say we're studying the vertex of a parabola, you would just type in vertex, and it will show you everywhere in the online text where you can find information about the vertex. And you can also add your own highlights and notes in the online textbook, and they will be saved the next time you log into the textbook. So that's really nice as well. Okay. All right, so let's kind of summarize our 4P routine. So we talked about prepare. So when you prepare for class, that's when you do those be prepared exercises in the online text, and then that's when you're taking notes on one of the templates provided as you engage with the content in the Google Slideshow. After you take those notes, you do upload your work. That is where you will be evaluated according to that 50-point scoring rubric. So the first P of the 4P routine is P for prepare. Okay. Then we preview. That's the second P. The preview is an online set of questions. It's 5 math questions about what you just learned in the Google slideshow. So you also complete the second P. So there's prepare and there's preview. You also complete that before coming to class. So the prepare and the preview are done before coming to class. So by completing the preview assignment, those quick 5 questions, again, you're giving yourself a self-assessment and you're saying, okay, I understood these concepts, but this one I still need some more help on. I'm going to make sure I ask questions or I focus on that during the live class meeting. And then as your instructor, I can also see the results of the preview questions and I know where I really need to focus our time because I want to maximize our time. I don't want to spend our time going over the problems you already understand. I want to spend it going deeper into the material and preparing you for what you're going to see in future assignments. So that's our second P. So 1 is prepare, 2 is preview, the third P, this is the fun one. This is participate. You get to come to class and engage live with your instructor and your classmates. Every day in class is going to be active. It's going to be engaging. You're going to be interacting with your other classmates. You're going to be interacting with me and the tutors and everybody else. So you want to come to class ready to participate. We're going to dive deeper into the material and aim for a deeper understanding of the content. And then finally, the fourth P is practice. So after class, there is another online set of homework questions, and then we call that the practice. So that will just engage you with the content on even a deeper level now that you've taken the notes before class, you've done the quick preview assignment, you've participated in class, now you're ready to do the practice assignment. And when you do the practice assignment, again, that gives you another chance to assess how well you understand the material. And then if you find you still have questions, you always have virtual office hours, you have the virtual MCC Math Tutoring Center, you have your classmates, you can form study groups. So there's all kinds of resources out there to help you. Okay, so I hope that this video helped you understand a routine and helps you kind of feel like you can start to set your own routine for Math 126. And I look forward to seeing you in class. Thank you.